whatever I want because I'm 55 years old.
All right.
So, as the new phase of my life as a father of 3 and stuff, I've turned into a storyteller. Yeah. Now, what's going to happen in hip-hop is a lot of us old guys are starting to die off. Sad but true, right? So it's important that we share stories whenever we get a chance. So are you guys okay if I tell you a story? Yeah! Alright, so I'm going to take you back to what the early days of hip-hop first felt like when it was coming out in 83, 84, 85. Because most people didn't even know what the hell this thing was going to be. But me, like most OGs, we went and we saw Flashdance, and we had to see it 10 times, because some dude spun on his back, and we're like, that's never happened before. How do we get that? How do we capture that? So my story was a little different, because I was older. I started street dancing maybe 76 on roller skates. We called it rocking the red wheels. But that was all to George Clinton, Earth, Wind and Fire, Isley Brothers. And it was acrobatics and walking on roller skates. And then when b-boying came out, I was like, this is perfect, because I already got my brain wired for the funk. Because I grew up near Detroit on the Canadian side. So then I fell in love, met my wife at university, and we said, let's drop out of school and go backpacking around the world. And at this point, I had already started the Canadian Floor Masters, and we all had windmills and things. So when Beat Street Tour was happening, who's heard of Rocksteady Crew and New York City Breakers? Right. So they were our idols too, right? And when they were touring the world, because the movie Beat Street came out, but they were going to like London, Paris, Berlin. You can find old footage of this on YouTube, it's dope footage. But me, I was like, I'm going backpacking in Morocco. I'm gonna dance in the Square of the Dead for Ramadan and freak everybody out. So my story is about the universality and the excitement of everybody wanting a piece of b-boying in the early days. So I'm backpacking in Turkey with my girlfriend. We're in the middle of the country, and we just saw something called camel wrestling that day. That's another story. You ask me about that one later. And we were exhausted. We come back to this tiny village, and you can hear, there's the mosque and the sun setting, and I heard like belly dancing music or something. I'm like, what is that? So we're walking around. It's a little village called Pamukla, and we peek in the door, me and my girl, and they spy us. They're having a party. And they're like, oh, honored Western guests, come, you have to be a part. So they bring us in, I'm like, I'm down, party. This is how we do, right? So we roll in, and I couldn't figure it out at first, because everybody's dancing, having a good time. But over here, look at the head, there's a bed, and there's a little boy who looks like he's in pain, maybe 12, dressed as a prince. And he's got all his grandmas and stuff sitting in black outfits along the side, and then everybody else is drunk having a party. It was a young boy's circumcision party. So they bring us in, and we gotta sit on the bed, get our pictures taken with the boy. He's got a prince hat on. We gotta sit with the grandmas and everything, right? So they're drinking, it's like ouzo, it's called raki in Turkey. It's like a licorice liqueur. So of course they start bringing me drinks, and I'm like, okay, I'll have some drinks. And we're sitting at a little table, and they send the belly dancer over to embarrass me in front of my girlfriend. So okay, that was cool, I weathered that. She didn't like leave me or anything after that. But everybody's dancing, guys and girls. But one song came on, and just the guys got up to dance. And the guys started going down and doing like Russian kicks and stuff. And I was like, incredible. Male bonding 101, I got this. So I jump into the cypher, I walk around, I'm moving back. I do my tops and I jump into a windmill. And I do a windmill and a backspin, and then I drill up under my head and I just freeze. And it's just silent. And then everybody screams at the same time. And they rush me. I used to have a long, I was growing out my mohawk, so I had like a braid. One guy grabbed a comb, started combing my hair frantically. Another guy grabbed some lamb kebab off the table and was like, please eat from my fingers. Other men were coming up and just wanted to kiss my forehead. They just wanted to be a piece of the excitement that b-boying brought. And I love it because b-boying and b-girling still brings that excitement, right? Around the world. They didn't really get it. Someday maybe I'll find this young boy and we can relive these stories about his circumcision party. But for me, it was an example of how excited the world was. The world was ready for it. And you know, I'm from Ottawa. You guys all saw what just went on in Ottawa. I'm not going to sound preachy about this, but this is why I love hip-hop, because hip-hop can bring people together of all cultures. Our foot, because I heard it in the Winnipeg Youth Correction Center 2 weeks ago. We're working with gang kids now in prisons across Canada. I got to do a full week here in Canada, so I ain't going to mess up my foot. So Google B-Boy Buddha, only for the young at heart, and you'll see some ill shit.